In this video, we're going to do a full walkthrough of the setup with the Katana and Xero integration. So let's go ahead and get started. Here in the settings screen on your Katana account, you'll find the integrations menu and then the Xero logo. And then from here, you'll choose the connect option. Now, once you choose the connect option, it'll ask you what organization do you want to connect to, and then you would choose allow access. Once you've granted access, putting in your password to your Xero account, then these will be the steps that are involved with the setup process. First will be a general overview. Then there's the ledger accounts mapping, tax types mapping, and then of course the data import. So for starters, one of the things that Katana allows you to do when you're creating invoices or bills from sales orders and purchase orders is you can select what is the status of those documents inside of Xero. So a sales order that is pushed over as an invoice can create an invoice with one of these three types of approval statuses, either draft format, submitted for approval, or in an approved status. The same could also be applied for purchase order process, draft, submitted for approval, or approved. So if you have a certain type of workflow where your invoices and bills need to go through this approval process by somebody within the accounting software, you can send them over as a draft or submitted for approval. Or if you're doing everything kind of in-house and everything you send over to your Xero account is going to be approved anyway, then you can just send them over as an approved state. No problem. So that's that. Pretty straightforward, not too complicated. Now, once we choose continue, then what Katana will do is it's going to find all of the different types of ledger accounts for your revenue as well as your expenses, and then it's going to map your sales to a revenue account, and you get to choose what expense account you're going to select for your Katana purchases. So for product sales, for example, we have 3 revenue accounts, so we'll choose sales in this case. And then for our expense accounts, we have quite a few here, so we can choose cost of goods sold or purchases, whatever it is that you want to map these to. We'll choose cost of goods sold in this case. And that's it. Pretty straightforward. Next up is mapping your Katana tax types directly to your Xero tax types. Now, Xero has a variety of different types of taxes that it will pull over, which are already existing on your accounting platform. And then, of course, Katana itself will have taxes available in the tax rate section of your settings page. So those would be listed here. And of course, if you want to add a new type of tax because you don't have one, you can choose add new row, and it will actually add it directly to your Katana account. And then you can map it in real time directly to the Xero tax type that you want to link it to. Now, what this is actually doing is that anytime an invoice or bill is generated from those tax types in your Katana account, so if you have a sales order or a purchase order that has a tax applied to a line item, it's going to find the matching one that you mapped here on your Xero account when it creates those documents and link them directly to that tax type. So the names could be different as long as the percentages are the same. Then you have a good representation of what it is you're working with. Now, unfortunately, in my demo example, I don't have a good matching percentage. I'll just put one of these here, which is a tax rate on sales, even though we have a 20% VAT inside of our Katana account. But anyway, just for the sake of this demo, we'll carry forward. So once those are mapped, you're good to go. Now, the next step and the last step is the data import. Now, as mentioned in the last video, data import is pretty simple. Remember, at the initial setup, we're pulling in our contacts from our Xero account, and our contacts include suppliers and customers. You can choose whether you want to import only your customers or only your suppliers or both. Now, the way this works is if you're, for example, adding customers and suppliers to Xero for whatever reason, then those will not automatically be imported after you're connected. Instead, you'll need to come back to your settings page and integrations, select something called the reconfigure button, and then pull those in manually by going through these prompts one more time. So if you're trying to add additional contacts that are been added to your accounting after you've already connected, that will be done manually from that perspective. However, if you're adding all of your contacts into your Katana account, whether they're customers or suppliers, then anytime you're generating a document, an invoice for customers, or a bill related to your suppliers, then you can send those over as actually new contacts inside of your Xero account that were created in Katana. So different ways of working with it from that workflow if you need to get data from here to there and from there to here. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Once you choose done, you're going to be connected and everything will look good. Now the next step is you'll see on our contacts list, these contacts will start flowing into the supplier and customer sections. So those would be nicely filled up with new data. And also what you'll see here in your Katana account is a new column to the right called the invoice column. That's going to be something that's newly added anytime you connect an accounting integration that's native to Katana. On your buy screen, which contains a list of your POs, you're going to see a bill column, and that bill will be for creating bills against your purchase orders. On the outsourcing section, even though I don't have an outsourced purchase order here, there will also be a new column that says create bill. So you can create a bill for all of your outsourced purchase orders if you'd like. So that there is a general overview of the setup process. And in the next video, we're going to just do a couple of workflows. So I'll show you exactly how those work in action when using them between your Katana and Xero accounts.